Let's rank US presidents based on the Mario games that came out during their terms. So to be clear, this is not about their policies or anything. I'm just looking at the Mario games that were released while they were president, and we're going to start with Ronald Reagan. So he was, of course, there for the beginning of the Mario franchise. So we got Mario Brothers in 1983, and then, of course, the NES games with Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3, Lost Levels, and a couple spin-offs like NES Open Tournament Golf, if you want to count that. But there's really not much here. Like, yeah, you have the classics, you have Super Mario Brothers 3, which is one of my all-time favorites. But besides that, there really weren't many spin-offs yet at this point, since Mario was still pretty much in his infancy. And we really only got like, 6 original games during this time. So this one's kind of hard to rank, because do we want to also talk about impact? But I think I just have to go D tier here, just for the lack of volume. Of course, we got some great games here. There were great games released during all the president's terms, but since we got so few games here, and I really only consider one of these to be a truly great game, like Super Mario Bros. The original is still a fun game, and very important historically, but I don't think it's as good today. 3 is definitely the peak of this, so we're going to go D tier for Reagan. Now, next up is George H.W. Bush, and he was only president for 1 term, so there's limited games. And he really got the start of the Game Boy era and the start of the SNES era. And like with Reagan, still very limited. Starting in 1989 when he was sworn in, we got a couple games that really aren't Mario games. Like Alleyway, I've seen some people consider that to be a Mario game. I don't. But we got Super Mario Land in 1989. We got Dr. Mario a year later. And we got a couple spin-offs here and there. However, I do think that H.W. Bush gets carried by a couple games. Super Mario World came out, both Super Mario Land games, and I'm not the biggest fan of that series, but I think Super Mario Land 2 is a pretty good game. Super Mario Kart, Mario Paint. So I think I'm gonna go D tier also, just because I don't really feel like it's better than Reagan's term, but there was also a higher ceiling here. Actually, you know what? I'll go C tier, just because there's more variety here, just because Super Mario World is my favorite 2D platformer ever. I think you could go either one, but I'm actually going to go C tier here for H.W. Bush. Next up is Bill Clinton, and this is where we're going to start to see a lot more games. So Bill Clinton was sworn in 1993 and was a 2-term president, so that gives us the rest of the SNES era and pretty much all the N64 era. So he, of course, missed out on a couple big ones, like the start of the Mario Kart series, like Super Mario World, and immediately, right off the bat, in 1993, it was a very rough year for Mario. We got Mario's Missing, Mario's Time Machine, and the Mario Early Years games, so that really brings this down. However, it does get better. And also, I want to say I'm not including Donkey Kong or Yoshi or Wario-specific games. I'm just including Mario games. And then another rough year in 1994. So it really took until like 1995 until we got Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, which I don't even know if I want to consider, because like I said, I'm not going to be including the Yoshi series, but some people include Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island as part of this. And that's a great game that can really help move Bill Clinton up on the tier list here. But of course, the late 90s is where this really starts to take off. We get Super Mario RPG, we get Mario Kart 64, we get the start of the Mario Party franchise, we get the start of Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, and then of course at the end of Clinton's term in 2000 we got Paper Mario. So there's not the most games here, the most unique games during Bill Clinton's term, but I think I gotta go B tier just because how many great games we got here. I'm not gonna put in an A because I don't think there was enough, plus there was just a lot of bad games during this time, like the Mario's Missing, so those kinds of games. But getting Super Mario 64, Paper Mario, the original Mario sports games, Mario Party, Mario Kart 64, Super Mario RPG, like that's what's gonna carry Clinton into the B tier. And next up is George W. Bush, and he was president from 2001 to January of 2009. And that pretty much gives us the entire GameCube era and the beginning of the Wii era. It also, of course, gives us the GBA and the Wii. So there's a lot here, like 4 different Mario Karts, a bunch of different Mario Parties, a bunch of Mario sports games. But I think the highlights here are the RPGs, because we got Super Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, Superstar Saga, Partners in Time. And then, of course, we got Super Mario Galaxy, which is my favorite game of all time. Super Mario Sunshine, which is another favorite for a lot of people, even though it's a little more divisive. And a lot of great spin-offs during this time as well. Like I mentioned, a lot of Mario sports games. Some great remakes with the Super Mario Advance series. There was just so much here at just such high quality. Like, yeah, there was a few misses. But at least for me, like, this is the time where I grew up. I was born in the early 2000s. So obviously nostalgia is going to play a part in this for me. And just looking at the amount of games and the amount of fantastic games here, I think we got to put Bush in the S tier. Like, it's just hard to ignore the great Mario parties, the great Mario Karts, the great sports games like Mario Super Sluggers, which I didn't even mention, one of my favorite sports games of all time. And of course, the RPGs and New Super Mario Bros. Yes, which I also forgot to mention. So far, I think this is easily the best. So next up is Obama, and this one's kind of interesting because Obama was sworn in 2009, and of course was a 2-term president. And the beginning of his term was the end of the Wii and DS era, and there's a lot of great games in the beginning of that era. Like we got Super Mario Galaxy 2, we got Bowser's Inside Story, Mario Sports Mix, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Then even in the early 3DS era, we got Mario Kart 7, we got Super Mario 3D Land, and there were a couple misses around this time. So New Super Mario Bros. 2, I don't think is a great game. It's probably one of my least favorite mainline Mario games. New Super Mario Bros. U, good game, but it was just kind of tired at that point. Then this was kind of the time when the Mario Party series was really going through its dark ages with Mario Party 9 and 10. Paper Mario Sticker Star and Color Splash both came out during Obama's terms. Like, these were some very rough years in like the mid 2010s for Mario, but it's also not all bad. We got Captain Toad Treasure Track, which I guess is technically a Mario game, which was one of the most unique things in the series. Mario Kart 8, which is arguably one of the best Mario Karts ever. Obviously, this is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but this is where it originated. We even got Super Mario 3D World in the midst of this. The sports games during this time, is like after that run in like the late 2000s or early 2010s, I didn't think they were that great for the most part. Like Ultra Smash, the 3DS games were all right. There were like a few Mario vs. Donkey Kong games and a few Mario and Sonic games, and outside of Mario and Sonic 2012, I didn't think any of them were that great here. It's kind of tough to rank this because I just feel like the quality isn't as high overall, even though we did get a lot of games. But even though we have a lot of misses, we also have some great games, especially in the beginning. So I don't know, this one is tough. I think I have to go B tier here, just because there is a lot of volume, and Obama would be A tier here if there was just like, I guess, a higher average quality of games. But we got a lot here, we got a lot of great games. So I don't want to go C tier here, which is like where HW Bush is like, obviously this is a lot better than that. Yeah, I think you can even argue for A tier here, but just Obama's second term. Like, yeah, there were some hits. There was Dream Team also, I forgot to mention. Also, just a couple quick games I just forgot to mention. Mario Maker, which is another one that kind of carries Obama to like high B tier, because the games like Paper Jam and Mario Puzzles and Dragons, like that's not games that are necessarily going to help here. It just kind of fell off a little bit. So now we get to Trump starting in 2017, and of course serving non-consecutive terms. We're going to have to go to 2025 as well, but we'll get to that. So Trump started just 2 months before the Nintendo Switch was released. And right off the bat, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which a lot of people consider to be the greatest Mario Kart game. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle was a start to a new series. And the big one in 2017 was obviously Super Mario Odyssey. 2018 slowed down a little bit. We got Mario Tennis Aces. We got Super Mario Party, which I don't think is that great of a game, but it was a step in the right direction. 2019 gave us Mario Maker 2. And there wasn't that much else besides like Mario Kart Tour and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. 2020 is where we got a few more games. We got Mario 3D All-Stars, but I don't really consider that to be a new game, obviously. Origami King, I'm not a big fan of. And this being the 35th anniversary of Mario, that's when we got Super Mario 35, which was actually a really fun game, but for some reason Nintendo decided to make a limited edition. So there really was not as many Mario games released in the first couple of years of the Switch. And with just the games we have right now, Trump would probably be low C tier, high D tier. But then we get 2025 and 2026, which really doesn't change that much. We get Mario Kart World and Mario Tennis Fever, so we're not really much to carry him. I think I'll go C tier here, because I think the games were overall a little better on average than Obama's term, but obviously Obama had more years, at least so far, and had a lot of misses, but also had a lot of hits. Like the biggest ones here would obviously be Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Super Mario Maker 2. You could also argue for Luigi's Mansion 3 if you really want. I don't really know if I want to factor Luigi's Mansion in, since it's kind of its own thing, but I'll go C tier for Trump. And finally, we have Biden in 2021. And I think this is actually where Mario really started to pick up more on the Switch. Obviously, never hit the highs of Mario Odyssey for most people, but immediately we got Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. We got Mario Party Superstars, which was the first really good Mario Party game in a long time. In 2022, then we got Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which was a pretty fun game. We also did get Battle League, which kind of brings us down. And we got Super Mario Bros. Wonder in 2023, plus the Super Mario RPG remake. And then in 2024, we got the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, Super Mario Party Jamboree, which I think is the best Mario Party game since 8. Mario Luigi Brothership, which is alright. And the Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake. So there was a lot of remakes during Biden's term. You know what? I think even though there's not the most volume, I think the games here are a little better on average than like Trump's term. So I think I'll go like low B tier here. This list is very tough to make because I don't really have any set criteria for it. Also, something I completely forgot to mention for Trump is the Mario Galaxy Collection. If they were like fully remade games, I think that would help more. But since they're just remasters, it doesn't really change anything. Same for Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition. I mean, I don't really count that. So this tier list was very tough to make. I'm not 100% certain on it. Like, if I really looked at it more in depth, maybe some things would change. And again, in case someone comments about this has nothing to do with these presidents' policies or anything to do with the presidency except the Mario games that released during that time. This tier list is just for fun. It's not something to take too seriously. But let me know what your list would be, and be sure to subscribe.